This book is by David Swenson, and some people call it the Ashtanga Bible. It's been around for a long time. It has really good, succinct explanations of the whole practice. So I found this used for not very much. If you want to get this book, it can be really helpful to keep on learning the poses at your speed. But I will also be here on camera to try to teach you bit by bit the practice. Welcome to this next part of our beginning series of videos. And I'm going to teach you first, before we go to our mat, a little bit about the structure of yoga in general. If you go to a studio, this may be, I'm looking for my pen, this may be never explained, but all yoga practices have these little parts. And because Ashtanga is meant to be memorized, I think it's helpful for you to know what these parts are. But if you were to go to another class, you might notice that these same parts happen. So I have it written out. There's 4 main parts of a yoga practice. There's the opening, which you have already learned. Sunsalute A, Sunsalute B. In Ashtanga, we always do the same Sunsalute A, Sunsalute B, no matter how long you do this practice. That's the first thing that you do. There are other practices, yoga practices, that they do other things, and it's different kinds of sun salutes, but they all do a sun salute. The next section will be some standing poses. And then after that, there will be seated poses. And then after that is the closing, which you have already learned. So your closing poses are Yoga Mudra. That's the one where you're seated and the hands go behind the back and you lean forward. Then there's the lotus pose, or Padmasana. That's the one where you breathe in for 10 counts and exhale for 10 counts. So slow breathing. The tradition is to have 10 count breaths. The next one is you push and get your bottom off the ground, Uplitihi. Then the final one is Shavasana, or corpse pose. So you already have those memorized by now. You now know Sunsalute A and Sunsalute B. So today we're going to add just a little bit. At the beginning, even before the sun salutes, there's usually an invocation. An invocation can be really simple. All that means is opening, invocation. And it is prayer-like sometimes. But today, all we're going to do is add an Om. So if you ever see the word Om, let me explain just a tiny bit about that. This is considered the sound of creation. It starts with an Ah, and then it goes to an and then it ends with a So the Ah is deep in your body. Ah comes up into your chest. Comes into your face. So it's a vibration. It's meant to wake up your whole body and create a new moment. So when we do our practice, it's a moment we've never had before, and we're creating something special when we do our practice. So we'll start today with an Om. Then, after we do some Sunsalute A and Sunsalute B, we're going to start our standing posture. 2 forward folds. So forward folds is what we call them in English. And in Sanskrit, there will be 2 of them. So one, let's see, I'll get my other marker out here, and I'll write in a different color the Sanskrit. So one of them is Padagustasana. This is actually a D. Let's try it again. Padagustasana. Pada means foot. Gustas is your big toe. So you actually are going to have your fingers around your big toe. So it's like the foot, big toe pose. And then the other one is Padahastasana. Stasana. And that means foot, hands. Your hand's going to go underneath your foot. So I'm going to teach you those 2 forward folds, and then, so it's kind of a set, I'm going to teach you triangle poses. And there's actually 2 of those. One is Utthita. Now, hopefully I'm going to spell this right. Utthita Trikonasana. Utthita means extended. Tri means 3. Konasa or kona is angle, so triangle. And then asana means pose. So extended triangle pose. The other one is Parvrita Trikonasana. So Parvrita means reverse. So we're only going to learn those standing poses today. And then we're going to learn 2 seated poses. One is called staff or stick pose, also known as Dandasana. Notice the asana at the end means pose. Danda means stick or staff. And then the other one will be forward fold, a seated forward fold. And we call that Paschimottanasana. Tanasana. There we go. And we'll talk more about those when we get to our practice. So this is all we're going to learn today, and you'll be able to memorize it and practice it during the week. So end of written lecture, hopefully that gets into your mind to make it easier to memorize, and we'll go to the mat. Let's see. Try to make this so that it won't fall over. All right. So head towards the top of the mat. And we will do the invocation part of the practice. So I'm going to talk you through this, and I will explain that we're going to do an Om and bring your feet together on the mat. Now, when we're very first starting, sometimes if you really bring your feet together, you feel a little bit tippy. Try that right now as much as you can, and notice that balance isn't about being really still. It's about coming back to the center over and over and over again. So one of the reasons we put our feet together is to create that feeling of one line, and we can play with the balance. Now at first, and for quite a long time, I had my feet a little bit apart for that stability. It felt uncomfortable. So whatever is right for you is what you should do. Find a sturdy, balanced position wherever your feet are for you, and then bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. This is prayer, also called prayer, with the hands together, and then close your eyes and feel your body. How does that feel? Do you feel like you're sturdy, like a mountain. This can also be called mountain pose. Push your feet down towards the ground and notice how that brings energy up your leg and up into your core. Now bring your ribs away from your hip bones. Extend the spine, even up the back of the neck, up through the crown of your head. In this tall pose, just breathe in the nose and out the nose. And at this point, really bring your mind to your practice. There may be other things that are on your to-do list today. There may be some distractions wherever you are. You're going to bring your mind to this moment and know that all those other things can wait while you focus on this practice. And you do that by noticing your breath. In a moment, I will cue you to exhale all of your air, and then I will say inhale for Om. We'll take a good inhale, and then you'll begin to say Om out loud. Feel the vibration in your body. Exhale all of your air out. Inhale for Om. Bring your hands down to your thighs, open your eyes. Inhale, bring your hands above the head, Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, hands down. Down to the mat if you can, head down. Inhale, look up, knees can be bent. Exhale, step back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward. Bring your feet towards your hands. Exhale, your head down. Inhale, stand up. Bring your thumbs above your head. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale, Samastitihi. And repeat. Inhale, look up. Exhale, hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, your shoulders back away from your ears. Exhale, step back. You can drop your knees, elbows towards your ribs as you come down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look to your thumbs, step forward to your thumbs. Exhale, your head down. Inhale, stand, look to your thumbs above your head. Exhale, Samastitihi, mountain pose. Inhale, bring your hands up, look to your thumbs. Exhale, your hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders back. Exhale, step back, high plank to low plank, knees can be down or up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 more breaths. Breath should be smooth and even. The inhale and the exhale should be the same length. So you continue to count your breath. One more breath. Inhale, look to your thumbs, bring your feet forward. Exhale, your head down. Inhale, stand, thumbs above the head. Exhale, Samastitihi. That's 3 A's. It would be great any day that you can do 5, but sometimes you have less time and you want to cut it short. So that's one way to do it, is only do 3 A's. Now we're going to do Surya Namaskar B. Bend the knees. Scoop the hands up. And exhale the hands down. Inhale, look up, shoulders back. Exhale, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stabilize with your left foot. Step forward with your right foot in a lunge. Inhale up. Exhale the hands down. Step back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stabilize with your right foot. Step forward with your left foot in a lunge. Inhale, hands up, look up. Exhale, hands down, step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look forward, step forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, bend the knees as you come up. Hands overhead. Exhale, Samastitihi. A second one. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the hands up. Exhale the hands down, head down. Inhale, shoulders back, look up. Keep your eyes up as you step back and bring into your low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step forward with the right foot and lunge. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down. Keep your gaze forward as you do your little push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, stepping forward with the left. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands down. Keep your gaze forward. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Count your breaths. One more breath. Inhale, look forward and come forward. Exhale the head down. Inhale, stand, bend the knees. And exhale, Samastitihi. We're just going to stop at 2 Sunsalute B's today and begin Padagustasana. Bring your feet about hip distance apart. Some people do a little jump and that puts it right at hip distance apart, or you can just step apart. Now take your hands and push your hips down towards the floor while you bring your upper body away from the floor. So around the navel, there's an energy that goes down and then up. If you do that in every pose, you'll have it just right. So before we take our forward fold, once again, hands on the hips, push down the hips, bring up the upper body, and then inhale really tall and exhale forward fold. As far as you can go, you can bend your knees if you need to, if your hamstrings are tight. Now bring your fingers around your toes. 2 fingers between the big toe and the little toe. Thumb is on the outside, creating a circle or like an OK sign around your toe. Now extend your spine a little bit further. Again, your knees can be bent if needs be. Exhale the head down and breathe. This is 5 counts. Notice if you can feel your ribs on your thighs as you count. That's about the 3rd breath. Last breath. And exhale. Inhale, look up, but don't come up. Straighten the arms. Now change your hands so that you're stepping on your fingers or the palms of your hands. Wherever they go, eventually you'll really be stepping on your hands, but at first it might be just your fingers. Inhale, extend your spine again. Exhale your head forward. Lift up in the middle, kind of like you're trying to get up over a clothesline, and it's kind of lifting you up at the waist. Breathing. One more breath. Inhale, look up without coming up. Exhale your hands to your waist. Then inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, feet together, Samasthiti. So that was your forward fold. The next one is extended triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. Step out to your right. First, you're facing the long edge of your mat, and then rotate your feet so that your right toe is pointing towards the short back side of your mat. Your left foot can be at a 90-degree angle, or keep moving the heel back towards the back of the mat to a 45-degree angle. Now, the front of your body is facing towards the long edge of your mat. Really pull up out of the rib cage again, like you're lifting your ribs up, and then tip over to your right. I feel like it's the little teapot. Your hand can go wherever it goes, and just breathe, keeping your chest open towards the side this way. You can look up at the hand above you, or just keep your gaze forward. 2 more breaths. And 5. Now inhale, just stand up the way you came from. Just switch your feet so that your left toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. Again, the body is facing the long side of the mat the whole time, and just come down so you can feel a stretch in the side hips. 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, just stand up, stay in that position, rotate your feet so they're both pointing forward, and return to the right foot pointing towards the back of the mat or the short end of the mat. Now bring your body all the way so that your left hand is going past center. This is going to revolve your triangle, and then come down and touch the opposite leg with the left hand. The right arm can just come up in the air wherever it goes. Breathing. 2 more breaths. And now inhale, come all the way up. Again, bringing your feet so that they're straight in front of you, and then pivoting on your foot so you can do the second side. The right hand comes across the center line, touches the opposite leg, and the left hand is up in the air. You can be looking towards that hand, or you can look down, depending on how your neck feels. 3, 4, long, even breaths. 5. Now inhale, come on back up. And exhale, step to the front of your mat, Sunsalute. So we've done the 2 forward folds and the 2 triangles. For this next week, those are your standing poses. You should do them every day that you do your practice. We're going to do 2 seated poses now. To get down to the ground, we do a vinyasa. Vinyasa means breath and movement linked together. So it's just a Sunsalute A, and we don't hold the 5 breaths in downward facing dog. So here we go, like a sun A, vinyasa. Inhale, hands above the head, look to the thumbs. Exhale, the hands down, head down. Inhale, look up, shoulders are back. Exhale, step to your high plank and low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and just put your knees on the mat and come into a seated position. With your legs forward, just sit tall. Now for some people, this might be like all you can do. I think when I started, this was my sitting tall. It was my hamstrings were really tight. One thing you can do is to get a block and sit up on the block. That can really make it so that you can access the poses. So from here, we're just sitting tall. The legs as straight as they can be. You can feel the heels pushing into the mat, the backs of the knees pushing into the mat, and there's a feeling of the heels going away from you and the balls of the feet going away from you. It creates this length or this stick or staff feeling in the legs. Now, go ahead and take your hands and push your hips down into the ground again while you lift your ribs away from the hips. This will create a straight spine. From there, try to maintain that straight spine. Bring your hands down on the mat, palms down, and push just a little bit into the mat. Notice as you push down that it brings the sternum up, just a straight back. Breathing here. We'll call that 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, look up. Now we're going to do Paschimottanasana, or forward fold. Again, we want to lift the ribs away from the hips. I kind of like to even bring my hands on my ribs to lift it up, and then as forward as you can go without your back going curvy. You want to keep the back straight. Hands can be to the side of the mat. They can be on top of your legs. If you really have plenty of room in your hamstrings to go forward, you can take your toes. But don't take your toes if it makes your back curve like this. This is not what we want. We want to keep this straightness. And sometimes when I have beginners, I will suggest that they have their hands on the mat and the pads of their fingers kind of pushing down, and like you're trying to pull the mat back towards you. That can give that sense of stability into the straightness of the spine. So if you've been counting, you're probably about to 5 breaths. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose. And then we would do a vinyasa. From seated, a vinyasa is crossing the legs, and for right now you can just roll forward onto your hands. Then go into your high plank, elbows in, low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And then drop your knees and come on back to your seated position. If we were in a studio, I would have you go through those poses one more time to help you memorize it. We won't go through them completely today, but let's review. After Sunsalute A and Sunsalute B, There's a vinyasa, which is just a Sunsalute A, going down to the mat without holding the downward facing dog. Next, Sunsalute A, Sunsalute B, and then we did our standing poses. So, Padangusthasana was a forward fold, taking the toes. Padahastasana is putting the hands under the feet. Then we did a vinyasa, which is just a Sunsalute A without holding the 5 counts in downward facing dog and sitting down. We did Dandasana or staff pose, and we did Paschimottanasana, which was the forward fold. That's all you need to do this week, is repeat those every day. If you can do more Sunsalutes than we did today, that's great. If you can't, just do what we did. So now we're off to closing. Bring your feet together in a comfortable position. Again, you can sit on 1, even 2 blocks. If it's really hard to sit in this position, I've seen people kind of like this, and it really hurts. So sitting up on a block can help. But if you can sit in crisscross applesauce like from elementary school, that's great. And bring your right hand behind you and your left hand crossing in back. Do a little shoulder roll. You want the roll of the shoulders to be back and towards the middle of the spine so that you have a high chest. So inhale tall, again, the ribs away from the hips, and lean forward. This is Yoga Mudra. Breathing in and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, come up. If your eyes were closed, that was great. Open your eyes. And then exhale, bring both of your hands forward, palms up, really sitting tall. Feel the sits bones pushing towards the ground, and then again, those ribs up away from the hips creates a straight back. 10 breaths, long breaths here. Exhale all of your air slowly, and inhale. Exhale slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale slowly. And exhale slowly. Eyes are open, looking down at the mat. Inhale slowly. Exhale. You might be counting to 10. Inhale, counting to 10. Exhale. Arms are straight, wrists are straight. Inhale. Back is straight. Exhale. Breath number 6. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breath number 8. Inhale. Exhale. Check that everything's straight still. Number 9. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath, the longest inhale that you have. And exhale. One more pose, Complete He. hands on the ground. You may lean forward a little bit to get your tail off the ground. If nothing comes off the ground, just do all you can to make it as good as you can, even if you can't lift yet. You will one day. Breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5. If you can do more, do some more. If you can't, then come on down. Just a couple more if you can. And exhale, bring the tail down. Now roll forward into one more vinyasa. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Knees down. And then simply lay down on your back for corpse pose or shavasana. And you've done your practice today after you have laid quietly for at least several minutes. If you're doing a full practice, it's 10 minutes. I know that you've already practiced this closing, so I'm going to give you my own internal namaste as you rest. Remember to go through going to your side after you get done resting, keeping your eyes closed, come up into a seated position, and think of some things that you're grateful for. I hope that this practice today will help you have energy and a sense of calm and peace throughout your day today. Continue in your shavasana until you're ready to awaken to your day. My internal namaste to you. Thanks for being here today. Namaste.